Well, my best memory of Myra, I thought this was easy. I remember pulling up to my mom's house. I had got a new car, and Myra was there, and she came outside. She wanted to come see the car, and she liked to smoke Newport cigarettes, and so she was into her cigarettes. So she came outside and she was like, "Jim, oh, I love your car. This is a nice Benson and Hedges." I said, "Myra, this is not no cigarettes. It's a Bentley." And boy, we just laughed and laughed and laughed. And we laughed so much, we still use, now when I see something that I really like or something that's nice, I always say, "Oh, that's a nice Benson and Hedges." But everybody kind of told the story so many times to different people where they could relate to the story and everything. But that's one of my greatest times. One of my best memories. That was fun and laughter. And so my grandmother, this is just kind of ironic of my life, my story, is I come to realize that Myra is not my biological mother, and my grandmother, she's not my biological grandmother either. She was played a big role in my life to where she taught me that blood has nothing to do with love. You know, she, every year on my birthday or during my whole life, consistently she would mail me a postcard with my name on it, mailed to me my whole life, birthdays, holidays, and it would be money inside of it in a foil. And consistently, my whole life. And she always made sure that we had a home, we had everything that we needed. So when I found out she was not mine, I was like 35 years old. I found out she wasn't my real grandmother. Well, she's my real grandmother, but you know, it made me realize that blood had nothing to do with she loved me that much. She's not even my blood grandmother. And it kind of showed me what love, what true love is, not conditional. Not I love you. You know, it really changed my heart. It's like even there, if it's pure in my life, when I was in jail, he's always there. Broke, he's there. Rich, he's there. Sick, he's there. And he's not my biological father. So, blood has nothing to do with love. I'm a perfect living witness to speak out and say that blood has nothing to do with love. Even beyond, that's my auntie, beyond relationship that's unbreakable. nobody knows about. She's not my biological auntie. Davo, Pooh, Jason, you can't, LaFon, he's not here, but you can't say we ain't cousins, it's gonna be a fight. You know? And God has put me in this position to experience, because of my whole pillar, my whole crew, my whole everything is based around that. And so I'm coming to this mindset and this place of, you know, even with going back to Myra, she raised me since I was 4 or 5 years old. Every time I went and did my homework, I would leave my house and I would go to Myra house. My mom, Derek, would never bothered me or said nothing. I could stay there to 10, 11 o'clock. They knew where I was at. I was at Myra's, you know. And she raised me and Roman and Leon. And even Leon, my brother, you can't tell me he's not my brother. That's my brother. You know what I mean? And we're not blood. You know, but that's the pillar of my whole life. And I know God put me in this position for a reason, to experience this type of love. And I honor that. And so Myra, she raised us. And, you know, Roman passed away about 25 years ago, give or take. And we've been taking care of Myra. All of you been loving on her and treating her as a family, because we were all she had. We was her family. And I really, 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 really acknowledge that, appreciate it. But now I got to raise my consciousness. You know, and another thing, like Roman, Myra, and my grandmother are my guardian angels. You know, they come in my dreams. They're always with me. There's no way that you can make it through this life without your guardian angels and your ancestors looking out for you and watching over you and guiding you. If you could just get quiet sometime and listen, they're always there trying to tell you, don't go left, go right. That voice that you hear that's saying, don't do that, don't go here, don't say this. It's always, they're always there with you. You know, I came into this place of my life where I really tap into my guardian angels, and they're always with me. And I thought that maybe my guardian angels would be someone that's related to me. I mean, if you think about it, you would think it'd be someone that's your mother or father or brother or something like that. But my guardian angels are totally the love of God that's inside of them, that grew inside of me. And I'm just persuaded that we have to raise our consciousness to not a conditional love, I love you, but we have to become love. We have to become love. That's very, very, very important. To where I want God to make me a channel of love. So where there's sickness or hurt, when I show up, I can bring love. To where there's pain, sorrow, when we show up, we can bring love. You know? And that's the whole essence of it. You know, it's easy. It's easy to visit someone in the hospital, like your mom, you're sick. That's easy. You know, your brother's in jail. That's pretty easy to go visit him. You know, because your brother. You know, but yourself at a nursing home, visiting somebody else's grandmother. When you become love, you'll find yourself at the hospital, loving on someone that you saw was in an accident. When you become love, you will buy your next door neighbor kids some clothes for school or pay for their tuition. Because it's easy to do something for your own, but can you become love and do something and touch someone that you come in contact with that you don't know? You know, and that's what it's about. You know, to raise our consciousness, to become love. And in order to do that, we have to become God, to become everything that God is. And I just appreciate everybody coming, everybody showing up, everybody loving on Myra, giving her the best time. And she said it, she said, you guys, I remember her telling me and Eric, she said, you guys have been my family, my everything in my life, and I don't know what I would do without you. And she really loved everybody. We all love her. And I'm gonna leave the stage open. I don't know if anybody has something to say about her, or a good time, or any loving time that you had, or just anything you want to say to express a little love toward her. I'm just excited we're able to release. We've been trying to put this on for a little while, and it just seems like when we finally let go of the business side and just said, let's just move forward, that's when things just turned around, and everything turned around and started working out, and everything just happened right on the spot. And even with the ashes, was able to 4 o'clock yesterday, they came ready to where there actually was no word of when it was gonna happen. You know, so I'm just grateful. I'm just honored to be her son and to be a part of this. And, so right now, if anybody just want to say anything, that's awesome.
Hi, everybody. Well, I mean, I have to say something, because she'll say, Pete, well, you didn't get up and say nothing. I ain't got that much to say, but I know she had an honest spirit, and she had a kind heart. And that's one thing about her I can say. And my relationship got closer with my brother, Joe. And me, her, and Joe, we would love to sit down, and not saying it in a bad way, but we would love to drink our wine a little bit together. And laugh and talk, and she loved sports. And you know, Myra was just an outgoing person, and that's all I can really say, and I just want to thank everybody for coming.
Prepared to eat. I'm gonna let them know to come on and bring the food in so we all can have a good meal and just think back on Myra. Because this is a celebration of life. It's not, you know, it's not the end. I told her that when she told me that she prayed to leave here. And I told Myra, I said, Myra, you know, your cousin lived to get to 97, and she's still here. And I said, you ain't going nowhere. God's going to keep you a little bit longer because we need you. She said, no, Eric, I'm ready. She said, I'm ready. She said, I was driving home from Vegas, and she told me this in the car. She said, I prayed for the Lord to take me. You know, and I found her in her bed a few days after we got back from Vegas. And I thank God she went peacefully in her sleep. I looked at her, I went there and I shook the bed because I really thought she was just sleeping. And I shook the bed and I said, Myra, checked the bed again, Myra, you know, and then I realized that she was gone. But she just looked so peaceful. And so I called 911. They said, go fill her. I said, no, she's gone. She's gone. You know, this is what she wanted. She wanted to leave here in peace. And I thank God for that because she didn't suffer. I talked to her a few days before, prior to her passing, before I found her. And, you know, and she was okay with it. She was ready. And I really thank God for that because, you know, it takes a place to be in God to know that you're ready to go. And I just thank God for that. And I'm going to get them so we all can just eat and just think back on Myra.